In this video, I'm going to be driving the TR-580, which is a Romanian Era 2 tank, which comes right after the TVP 5051. Also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing because that's free and it helps out the channel a ton. So let's talk about the TR-580. The Romanian tanks are pretty good at armored. So you have the TR-580, the TR-85, and the TR-125. TR-125 is a heavily armored heavy tank. The TR-85, the tank right after this one, is really heavily armored for a medium tank, but the TR-580 actually holds its own and can ricochet some shots. Now, currently, we've ricocheted 1,390 damage. So, let's talk about this tank a little bit. The armor is really good, well, in the upper hull. Now, it's not as angled as the TR-85 or the TR-125, but it has 200 millimeters of upper plate armor, which is quite insane, even for Cold War standards, and it managed to block really good amount of damage, especially if you're using your gun depression. Now, the angle is not the best on the TR-580, but if you're using your gun depression, it just works fantastic. Also, it absorbs the missile, which is fantastic. It's always great. Also, this is like a heavy medium, but in the way I have set this tank up, I am able to run away about 70 kilometers, but still have really good armor in this tank. Now I'm actually going to show you two replays. Well, this one was to show off the armor a little bit and show off the capabilities of running away in this tank when you need to, when they're all around you. Now this one is going to be an actual match where, let's go. Hello, cat. So, let's talk about the equipment and crew skills I have on this tank. I have the advanced loader, gun stabilizer, powertrain, and the enhanced target info. My commander skills are born leader, rapid loading, supply conservation, sixth sense, armor angling, steadying, deadeye, clutch braking, and pain tolerance. Now, if you want to put rapid aim on this tank, that's absolutely perfect. I didn't think about rapid aim until I recorded this, until this replay right here. Now, like I said earlier, 200 millimeters of upper hull armor, really good. Nothing space, it's just angled armor. Using your gun depression, which is a 5 degrees of gun depression, you can still bounce shots. You're not going to bounce shots like the TR-85 or the TR-125, but you can definitely hold your own. You're a medium tank, but you're like a heavy medium. You're not quite at the role where you can play at the front lines at all times, but you can play up in the front lines like as a secondary tank, or using your gun depression and you're just blocking shots with your heavy tanks. Or when you are the only tank up here with your light tank. You are the tank that absorbs the damage. So also, your turret armor is pretty weak, so you pretty much want people to shoot your upper hull. That is the fantastic thing. Get people to shoot your upper hull, bait them to shoot your upper hull when you're using your 5 degrees of gun depression, and this armor will work magically. Now this match, we blocked a couple of shots. They didn't register in like block damage, but we're still going to block a couple more. Now the gun's actually pretty good also. It does 440 damage per shot with a reload of 8 seconds, which gives it a DPM of 3,300. Also, it has an accuracy of 0.33 and an aim time of 2.1 seconds. The mobility is fantastic on this tank for being heavily armored. It goes 65.2 forward and a reverse speed of 24.1 with a power to weight ratio of 19.3. So, tank has armor, it's got a good gun, and it has the mobility. What's not to like about this tank? Now, the TR tanks are just so much fun. I've been having so much fun in the TR tanks. Like, I remember when I first played the TR-580, and I was like, wow, I love this tank. This tank armor works like amazing. Then I went to TR-85, where the armor is the same amount of thickness, but the angle of the upper hull is even more increased. So that's really nice. Then you get to the TR-125, which is the heavy tank, which the armor is even more angled. So coming back to this tank, it doesn't feel like those heavy medium like the TR-85 feels like, or the TR-125 feels like a heavy tank. But it's definitely in that role of being the medium tank with the really good mobility and really good armor. It has a mixture of everything, which this tank just excels at, having a mixture of everything. It really does. If you ain't got it, I encourage you to pick it up. And I definitely will make a video on the TR-85 and TR-125 when I get around to it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Also remember to slap fish, because one was not. And peace, I'll see ya.